Video, welcome to series 4, episode 2 of Learning People with CKNaija. So the first name we're going to learn today is actually my name, which is Ntsikan. And it's a unisex name for both males and females. The English meaning is what is more than God. What ever see is God, or Bong is like Lord or God. It's a title. So you can either just call someone with his name Ntsikan, or you can call them Ntsikanabasi or Ntsikanobro. So let's dive into what this name actually means. So the word Nso, as we can see it, Nso, two low tones and a high tone. So the N is a low tone, the SO is a low tone, and the last O is a high tone here. So Nso means what? Yeah, we're learning a new verb here. So another thing I was going to mention is that I'm going to start putting a list together of all the verbs that we learn in these lessons. So I'm starting to compile a list, and maybe at some point I'll just put out a PDF or so. So I would recommend, if you're actually serious about learning video, to write, first of all, have a notebook where you're taking notes, and also to whenever we come across a new verb, I'm going to remember to put them in purple, and then you can add it to your list with the tones and the English translations. So adi means to do something. It's the infinitive marker. And then we have the verb root, can. Adi can. So to adi is low and high tone, can, which is the verb root. Can is a low tone. So adi can is to be more than, or to be more / greater than, or to win over, to win, to be victorious, let's say, over someone or something, right? So adikan is to be more or greater than something, or to be victorious over someone or something, right? Adikan. So that's the verb. So we started to learn more about the name here. So we already have Nso, which is how the name starts with an NS. And then we learned can, right? Which means to be more or to be greater. All right, let's learn a bit more. So we have the sentence here. Nso mpo, right? And this O here is the O with the dot underneath. I don't think I have the dot underneath there. So I'm just going to make that a capital O for now. That's the O with the dot underneath. So Nzumpo, Ido, right? That gets shortened, squashed together. Nzumpo Ido is the long sentence, right? And then we have a shorter form of that sentence. So Ido. Now, when we learned in series 3, when we learned the subject pronouns and object pronouns, we learned about their markers, their agreements. And we know that for the third person singular, which is he, she, or it, the subject's pronoun is an I, E. So this is the subject pronoun. Let me just put that in red. So, nsum or ido, right? Nso, ido. So, nsum or ido gets squashed together, to nsoido, right? And so this equal to means the same thing. Ntumpoido means the same thing as nsoido, and that gets squashed even more to nsido. And this basically means what is it, or what is happening, right? Because we have that verb there. What is it and what is happening? So Nsido gets squashed even more. So Nsido is the shortest way of saying what is it or what is happening. Nsido. So we know that this part of the word, do, is the verb, meaning what is it or what is happening. So efik-ibibio is a short way of saying what is. So nsi means what is. What is. That's very important. And see, you can't. It's not a word by itself, but it's like a compound prefix. A compound prefix. So we know that the NS is from the word so. We know that the I is the marker agreement for the third person singular, i.e. he, she, or it. So nsi then means what is. So when we go back to nsuikan, right, that basically means what is more than God, right? So when we say nso ikanabasi, we're saying nsi kanabasi. Nso, what is more than God? Nso ikan. So remember, adikan is to be greater, more powerful, to be victorious, right? So this is how we get the name Nsikan. Nsikan is from Nso Ikanabasi. Nsom or Ikyo. So this is how we get the name. Nsom or Ipon, Ifon, Isongodudu Ikanabasi. So Adipon. So we have some more verbs here. Adipon is to be big or mighty. We have Adifon, which is to be good. Adifon can is to be better. We have Adisongodudu, which means to be powerful. Adisongodudu can is to be more powerful. So we have the full name of the real meaning behind the name Nsekan is Nsumpo Ibon or Ifon or Isongodudu Ikanabasi. And remember that all these I's are the agreements for the third person singular, i.e. he, she, or it, right? So Nsumpo Ibon or Ifon or Isongodudu Ikanabasi. What is bigger, better, or more powerful than God? So this name is a rhetorical question because the answer is supposed to be nothing. As we learned in the previous episode of Learning Ibibio with Ibibio names, we know that Abasi was the name of an Ibibio god, but through contact with, through colonization and the years of slavery and so on and so forth, and acculturation to westernization, Abasi the name Abasi has been taken rather than to mean the name of a god, is now the word for God, the general name for God, and now refers to the Christian God, the Abrahamic God. So let's jump onto the next name. The next name is Anyekan. Anyekan. And again, we can have Anyekan Abasi or Anyekan Obong. So for those of you who take notes on these lessons, just a quick note that I have now corrected the spelling of the names here. So Obong is the O sound. So it's the O with the dot underneath, and the NG is the N. So that is the N with the wiggly line on top, which is the NG sound. So this is Obong. So the next name is Anyekan. Anyekan. So Nyekan is a very similar name, as you can see, to Nsikan, which again is my name. So here we had what is more than God. Here we have who is more than God. So Nyekan, unlike Nsikan, Nyekan is a male name, and not a unisex name. So we have Anyewu. We have Anye. Anye means who. Anye means who, right? And you can say Anye or you can say Anyewu. Anyewu means which person, which obviously means who as well. So if you want to ask who, if you wanted to ask who ate my food, you would say Anye ikidi endidiame, who ate my food, or you can say Anyewu ikidi endidiame. It means who or which person, which is the same thing. So the name Anyekan just means who is bigger, better, or more powerful than, right? God. Let me put that in capital letters, than God. Who anyewo, ikbon or ifon or isonwododo ikanabasi. And again, these I's are the agreements for the third person singular. He, she, or it. We need that agreement. So anyewo, ikbon, ifon or isonwododo ikanabasi. And yekan. So the nye is who, and then on in Sikan, don't forget that we had the I, the agreement there in the name makes a presence for ikan, but in the nyekan, it's not an ikan. It's just the word for who and the word and the verb root for to win or be victorious. So this just means who is dash 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 than God. Who is, right? So who is more dash 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 than God? And this can be good, better, more powerful, blah blah blah. That's the meaning. So the meaning, the meaning of the name doesn't actually go into the specific of what is the comparison, but the typical comparison would obviously be better, more beautiful, more strong, more mighty, blah blah blah. So who is more than God?